Blizzard's war against toxicity continues in the latest iteration of Battle for Twitch Chat. Now I want to be very frank with you guys right at the start of this video. This is not about me debating whether or not I'm in favor of them doing any of these things. This is also not purely about me reporting on the news. In essence, I want to talk about the philosophy of being, for all intents and purposes, Blizzard Entertainment. The Overwatch community in particular knows that their war against toxicity has been taking a lot of prominence in our game specifically, and that extends even further than just our own matches. But naturally, for all of you who haven't heard the news yet, let me get you up to speed. Blizzard is currently testing a new type of moderation that requires the viewer to link their Twitch account to their Battle.net account in order to be able to participate in Twitch chat. For all of you who are not aware, Twitch and Blizzard have an ongoing partnership that was formed within the bounds of the Overwatch League. The API already includes this very linking of accounts that allows Blizzard to give viewers a variety of rewards for watching the event. Anything from premium currency to buy Overwatch League specific skins to events rewarding sprays, the basic idea of linking Battle.net and Twitch is not new by any means. Now, you would be forgiven for not knowing that there are more esports events surrounding Overwatch than just a tier 1 league, particularly because Blizzard is doing very little to promote, let alone support, the tier 2 and 3 scenes. One of these lower tier scenes consists predominantly of the Overwatch contenders, where players are trying to prove themselves to contend for one of the desired spots in the more premium and much better supported Overwatch League. Needless to say that this event is not anywhere near as popular among viewers, which makes it a great testing ground for Blizzard to try out new features like these. First and foremost, the requirement to link your account adds a barrier to entry for you to be able to access the live chat. The more effort a troll has to go through in order to do said trolling, the less inclined they would be to actually go through with it. Obviously, a dedicated troll, god I hate this word but I can't come up with a better one to describe these people. Long story short, if they really want to spout dead memes and racist shit, then they would have to go out of their way to put their account on the line. One could argue about the effectiveness of this as a deterrence measurement, but at the end of the day, one barrier is better than no barrier at all. It is not yet clear whether this is all there's to it though. Is it just meant to deter people from being dickheads by losing at least a tiny bit of their anonymity, or are there going to be punishments that extend to your Battle.net account for something you have set on a different platform entirely? And this is where we're at right now at the time of writing this video. Now obviously, the first argument that comes to mind is, but my freedom! A lot of people are under the impression that they should always be allowed to say whatever they want, wherever they want. Obviously, that's complete bullshit. Twitch is a private platform that is owned by a company that can do whatever they please with it. And if they don't like you spamming C9 Omega lol, then that's that. But naturally, there's another side to this discussion. As much as we, as viewers, have no right to demand change, we still have a lot of power over what they are doing. It's completely nonsensical to go to someone else's house and start telling them how they should run their household. It is none of our business. But if all we're seeing is a filthy place that hasn't been tended to, then we are obviously going to walk away from this with our own impressions in mind. Much of the way that we might tell our colleagues about how filthy that one guy's house was, we are also going to tell our friends about how big of a stick Twitch and Blizzard are currently sitting on. The difference here is that there's no monetary incentive for that other person to keep their house clean, just so we stop badmouthing them. How we see Blizzard and Twitch is absolutely relevant to these massive companies because it has the power to affect sales at the end of the day. So it is my belief that we should always voice our opinion, but never be delusional enough to imagine that we actually have a say in how these people should run their multi-million-dollar businesses. And if we don't like what they are doing, then we can always just walk away from it. It is that very fact that also makes me believe that Blizzard has a very odd way of handling their community. A .esports article reads as followed. Twitch chat and moderation on Twitch is often a point of contention across the board in esports. It's not only an Overwatch or Overwatch contenders problem. Users with relative anonymity feel emboldened to use Twitch chat to spread vitriol, whether that's through hate speech or banned emotes. Twitch chat is a place that is beloved by some for its quick spreading inside jokes like Overwatch's C9 meme, but it is often harmful for others. It's not an inherently bad space, it's an important part in the legacy of esports and a major player in how esports fans interact, but companies have struggled to maintain that history while regulating the space. While the article references the popular C9 meme as a quickly spreading inside joke in our community, community, the more infamous counterpoint to that will be the tryhard7 meme. I have no interest in discussing the intricacies of how that spam has come to being, because at the end of the day, it does not matter to our discussion. Long story short is that the tryhard7 meme was used as a platform for many to display harmful intent. And as much as it was still just a meme for some people, for others it read a very clear message that was meant to make people feel uncomfortable at best and outright attacked at worst. The way Blizzard decided to combat that spam was by simply banning the tryhard emote in their live chat. Now this is what I believe to have been a gross mistake. I don't think I have to give you a history lesson on how banning something can make people want it even more, but what this has effectively done was take a meme that could have gone the way of Ugandan Knuckles and be forgotten very quickly, and they gave it legendary status. By banning the emote, they have acknowledged how bothered they felt by it, and they gave more agency to every troll out there to find ways of circumventing the ban to keep bothering Blizzard. Because that is simply the nature of anonymity and online trolling. This spam has reached a point where it wasn't just about memes anymore, and neither was it just about racism. It became a platform for people to take advantage of to make sure that they show Blizzard what they thought about them and their practices. People hate to be told what they can and cannot do, and deciding to police everyone at all times, even if just with the intent of deterring some people, does not paint a very good picture for Blizzard in their community. Alright Cliff, but what could they have done instead? Good question. It is not unusual for teams of moderators to temporarily ban any variety of spams once they take over the chat room. And everyone understands that, as funny as it can be to spam something, it takes away from the viewing experience if the chat literally just doesn't stop spamming. In this case, I would have suggested for Blizzard to show that they have the longer breath in this situation. Keep up with regular moderating practices, temporarily disabling a spam, banning repeat offenders, and just going on about your day until the meme becomes outdated and forgotten. The assumption that they didn't want to do that because they had an obligation to keep the chat room as PG as possible for the numerous sponsors of the show is a fair one to make, and I understand that viewpoint. All I'm trying to do here is showing an alternative that comes from a general community management perspective. Admitting that something bothers you makes you vulnerable in the eyes of those who wish ill upon you, and they will do everything they can to keep pulling at these strings for as long as they know that it actually does bother you. I do agree that they should double down on their moderation strategy as long as they follow standard procedure. Much like in a live event you attend in person, you can't leave such a huge mass of people unmoderated. But the solution cannot be to install cameras equivalent the amount of people in your stadium just to make sure you can watch every single one of them at all times. As much as I don't think that this is going to have a massive impact on the viewing experience of many, it is just another piece in the puzzle that slowly creates a bad public perception of your company. The people that I assume will suffer the most are everyone who puts in the work to organize Overwatch contenders. Live chat is part of the experience for many, and even just the demand to link your account might deter some people from watching in the first place. And given their already lackluster viewer base, this is not something I wish for them to happen. A problem I don't see for the league, because they've already been giving out rewards to viewers who have been connecting their accounts, which means that it's fair to assume that most viewers will never even see the prompt that asks them for their Battle.net ID. At the end of the day, I think that this is just part of the long string of bad decisions that Blizzard and Activision have been making to appease their sponsors and shareholders. And that at the cost of their reputation. Whether or not you are okay with this is, well, for you to decide. Just as much as it is for you to decide whether or not you want to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell to make sure you don't miss any of my uploads. I, for one, would greatly appreciate that. Thank you everybody so much for watching. Don't forget to drop me a like on your way out if you enjoyed the video, and leave a comment down below on your thoughts surrounding the potential of receiving in-game punishment for spouting dead memes in Twitch chat. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you all next time.